Yay! Hello, welcome again here to Drumsticks Sunday. I am, as always, Alberto Iglesias, today with a special voice, and here we are to talk about a different pair of drumsticks every week. Sorry for my voice, I guess I'm getting older and so my voice is changing. But anyway, I'm gonna try to do my best. It's been really hard in Spanish, so I hope in English is gonna be harder, but let's see what happens, okay? Cool. This is the last video of the year, as I told in the last video. I'm gonna take a couple of weeks to rest, to spend with my family, and we'll see you back in January, okay? So, but today we have to still talk about drumsticks, and here we have kind of a cool model. Well, first of all, it's a signature model. I'm going to explain something about that in a minute, but first of all, it's a signature model from Mr. Jeff Porcaro. Okay, first of all, pretty sure many of you don't know Jeff Porcaro. I didn't knew him, sorry for that. But for sure you, or many of you, have heard the short name, Porcaro, right? Cool. Jeff Porcaro, what? What happens there? It's gonna happen more. And Jeff Porcaro is the father of Jeff Porcaro, which is mainly known as a drummer of Toto, or Toto, yes, I think it's Toto. And well, in fact, he was the father of three of the members of Toto. But in this case, if we talk about Jeff Porcaro, which is mainly known for Toto and for being maybe the one of the most representatives of half time shuffle. And so I didn't knew him, I didn't knew Jeff Porcaro, but I was impressed by this model. Well, first of all, sorry, if we talk about Jeff Porcaro, you can go to the Wikipedia and you can see that he was a jazz drummer mainly, and he played with Natalie Cole, Don Ellis, Stan Getz, lots of great jazz musicians, and even with Frank Sinatra, well, many different people, and apparently he was a busy guy. So. Cool. If you want to know a little bit more about him, you can go to the Wikipedia and all that stuff. But today I'm not talking about these drumsticks because of him. I'm sorry for that, but I think it's really awesome, this model. Although I have to say that it's not available now. It's deprecated. VicFirth is not producing this model anymore. But maybe you can find some, if you are interested, you can find some from some shops that have it in stock or something like that. Or maybe you can find a similar model that has this kind of thing, let's say like that. Well, so I'm going to introduce you now the model. I think it's better if we see the picture first. So this is, wait for it, this is the Jeff Porcaro Diamond Tip 8AN. So, I suppose at this moment you know what's cool about these drumsticks, right? This stick. Okay, but before talking about that, well, I have to say first, the actual signature model from Jeff Porcaro in VicFirth, if you go to the webpage, is this one, which is more based, it's different sizes and all that, but it's kind of the same idea, but a little bit bigger. So, I'm saying this because maybe you go to the webpage to look for the model. It's not available now, but you can find this other model. So first of all, let's see let's say the sizes of this one, which is the length is 16 and 1/8 inches. The grip is 0.545. It's hickory. We have medium taper and kind of cool diamond nylon tip. I'm not completely sure if at this time they have the same model with wood. I guess so, because the actual model is all in wood, so I suppose he has both, but I honestly I'm not sure. So translating these sizes, this is a little bit more than 16. It's 1/8. It's not too much, honestly. You can barely notice that. I haven't noticed anything about that. About the grip, of course, it's 0.545. Sorry, which is closer to a 7A. Really close. In fact, it's 7A is 0.540 and this is 545. But anyway, you can feel that it's a little bit more. In fact, when I was trying, I thought that it was even more. But today, when I checked the sizes, it turns out that it's almost a 7A. And okay, kind of a medium taper, medium to long, and super cool small nylon tip with the shape of a diamond. And okay, if you go to the webpage, you see the actual model is based on a 5A. In fact, it has 5A in the model. So it's 0.565, 16 inches long, and it has kind of the same tip in wood, a little bit bigger, I would say. I'm only looking at the picture. I haven't tested that model, so but I guess it's the same idea. But so the whole drumstick is the same idea, but a little bit bigger. So what can I say about the drumstick? Nothing really important to say about the length and the grip. Same as always. If you are a 7A guy, it works perfectly. If you are 5B, it's gonna be harder. For me, I'm not a 7A guy by any means, but just the extra grip that you get with this, it's for me maybe enough to not be so uncomfortable. Okay, and at the same time it's almost 16. Not that 7A is shorter, but so the combination works better for me than 7A. But it's up to you. Okay. What I want to talk today, honestly, is about the tip. So we have three different things here. First of all, the size is super small, as you can see. It's almost no tip, and that's one thing. The second thing is the shape of the tip, which is kind of like a diamond. In fact, it's a good name. And the third thing is the material, which is nylon. So let's see what happens with those three. Right? With the first one, which is the size, when we have a super small tip, we have less surface touching the cymbals and the drums and everything, so we have more definition, more that's it, more definition in the stroke. It works in that direction, okay? So you can feel that perfectly on cymbals, but also in the snare. In the tones, not too much, as I always say, sorry for that, but it's what happens to me. But in the snare, in cymbals, you can feel that when you get a small tip, immediately you can hear more the ping, you can hear more the impact of the drumstick, and but the cymbals doesn't open too much. It's just more the stroke or the ping of the stroke. Okay. That's one thing. The second thing, the shape. Okay, as we've been talking about that in the past also, is the shape is going to affect the angle or the modification of the sound you get depending on the angle. Okay, cool. When you have a round tip, that's the extreme. When you have a round tip, it doesn't matter how you hit, the surface that is touching is going to always have the same shape. Okay, because it's round, it's a sphere. In this case, when we have something different, like long oval tip, small diamond tip, whatever other shape that you have, it's gonna have an influence. When you, in this case, because of the shape, is like this in this part and like this. So if you are playing like this with this angle, you're gonna have more surface touching the cymbal, for example. If we are talking about the right, so in that case, it's gonna be that extra overtone. an extra surface touching. But when you start modifying the angle, you're gonna have this, only this part is gonna be touched in contact with the surface, okay? So that surface is gonna be super small and you're gonna get more definition. So that's another thing, the angle is gonna have a difference because of that shape. The third thing is the material, which is a nylon. We've been talking about this also in the past. The nylon, it's a harder material, it's plastic. So you get more, you get an extra ping, okay? It's up to you if you like it or not. As I say, I think it works better, in my opinion, it works better with dark, dry symbols, or of course, if you are looking for that, if you want that extra, and you need that because of the style, maybe for metal or something, all that more extreme players that has a super bright symbol, but you need an extra brightness. That's what nylon is gonna give you, that extra brightness. That's it. And also another thing is the durability of the tip. Okay. I'm not gonna cook this. You're gonna hear this. So as I was saying, durability is kind of important for many people. I think in this case it's kind of more important because it's such a small tip that if it's wood, when you start hitting and playing, it's gonna disappear pretty soon. So I think it makes sense, okay, that it's nylon in this case. Cool, so now we know what happens with all those three. So we know what we can expect, and it works. I mean, most of the things that I've been saying is just like it works in this drumstick. A lot of good definition. I think it's super great for the ride, especially when you are looking for when you are swinging, but you need that swing. I mean, it's not only to cover or to give more space and blah, blah. No, it's you looking for that thing. You need to hear that. That's perfect. I think it's gonna work really great for that. It's really fast in that. The kind of, I don't know if as a general thing, but for swinging and for that kind of rebound that you need, works really great. It works great for the cymbals in general, because in this case even I use dry and all that kind of thing with my cymbals, okay? So for me, the nylon, the extra brightness of the nylon is not gonna affect too much. Even sometimes you want that, no? You need that in some songs. So I think it's gonna work really good for that. Okay, cool, that's for the cymbal, or the rest of the cymbals. What happens with the snare, with the rest of the drums and all that? Okay, I would say that for the snare, I think it works better if you are using high tuning, and better than with low tuning, because when you're using low tuning, it's because you want that depth, you want that body in the stroke. But this is such a small tip, it's like it doesn't have enough surface or enough power to excite the drum head. So you can hear really well the slap, you can hear the stroke, but you miss the rest, you miss the, all the fatness of the stroke. But if you are using high tuning, especially for jazz and all that, it's really great, because you want that slap, you want that really fast and instant sound. So for that, they're really great. I think for that kind of jazz, they're perfect. Works really great. They do their job. But if you are playing heavy styles and all that, I think you're gonna miss more tip. You're gonna miss that. The last thing I have to say, which is kind of strange for me, I was expecting this to be more fast, because we haven't mentioned that. We've mentioned that a million times in the videos. Because of the taper on the less weight here, you get that speed, right? Because they are lighter on front. Well, turns out that it doesn't work exactly like that. I don't know why. I have a real explanation. I have a theory, it's my theory, which is they are super fast in the cymbals, the right and left, but when I was playing in the snare, for example, I found out it's not that fast. Cool, so here comes my theory. I think maybe it's a question of, because the tip is so small and hard because of the nylon, that it's easier for the tip to go into the drum head, right? So to go deeper, and so it's like it's absorbing part of the stroke, so it's giving you less rebound. It doesn't feel that light. Honestly, when I was playing this, especially with the fingers, not to try that, it doesn't feel that fast. I think other models that we've tested in the past, with long tapers and all that, feels way faster than this one. And I guess it's because of that. It's my theory, I don't know. Of course, nylon maybe is adding a little bit of weight there, but not that much. So I don't know if that's true or not, but it's my theory. So that's why, in my opinion, it feels not so fast in the snare, in the toms, and feels really fast in the cymbals. Okay, and that's what I can say. Good drumsticks. I love to try extreme things, because it's sometimes it helps you to know what's your preference, because when you are trying extreme things that are really far from each other, it's easier to you to decide, oh, this feels better than this one. If you are trying super similar things, it's super hard to say, okay, this is better or this not better. You know, I prefer this, or this feels better for me, and all that. It's harder, but when they are extreme, it's kind of easy to say, oh, I prefer a 2B than a 7A, for example. Right. So that's it. That's all I have. That's all I have for 2018. So the first video of 2019 is going to be in January 13th. Okay, I have 2 weeks to rest. And don't forget to call Santa or the Three Wise Men or whatever you have in your country. Don't forget to ask for drumsticks. It's really important. So, see you on 2019. Of course, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, happy everything. Have an amazing end of the year. And 2019 is going to be awesome for all. That's it. Okay? Goodbye.